And I want to tell you a story about the United States of America that most of you don't know. Certainly most Americans don't know this story, because we have this idealistic story about noble America that bears little resemblance to reality. The United States, and what I'm going to do here is try and convince you that the United States since 1783 in terms of foreign policy has acted according to my theory. That's what I'm trying to do. 1783, the United States started out as 13 measly colonies strung out along the Atlantic seaboard. What did we do? We marched across the continent to the Pacific Ocean. We murdered huge numbers of Native Americans. We stole their land. We went to war with Mexico in the middle of the 19th century, and we stole from Mexico what is now the southwest of the United States. We invaded Canada in 1812 for the express purpose of making Canada part of the United States. For those of you who don't know, the reason Toronto is not the capital of Canada and Ottawa is the capital of Canada is they expected us to pay a return visit. Furthermore, with regard to the Caribbean, we'd own all of the Caribbean now. Places like Cuba and Puerto Rico would be American states if it weren't for the fact that it was inextricably tied up with the issue of slavery. And the northern states said, we're not going into the Caribbean because there are too many slaves down there. Those are slave-holding states, and we don't want any more slave-holding states. We had a voracious appetite for conquest. Adolf Hitler, when he went into the Soviet Union in the summer of 1941, sometimes talked about imitating the Americans and their ability to conquer and gain territory. He admired us greatly. He was trying to emulate us. He referred to the Volga River as my Mississippi. That's how the United States was created. An expansionist country like we've never seen on the planet before. But that's just the first part of our attempt to create regional hegemony. The second thing we did was the Monroe Doctrine. In 1823, old President James Monroe, he told the Europeans, we're not powerful enough to throw you out now, but there's going to come a day where we're going to run you out of the Western Hemisphere, and once we run you out, you're not welcome back. This is our hemisphere, we run it. No distant great powers are allowed in our hemisphere. It's the Monroe Doctrine. First part of the story I told you is called Manifest Destiny. Marching across the continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific, creating this huge state, importing huge numbers of people, industrializing the country. And then the second part of the story is the Monroe Doctrine, getting the European great powers, the British, the French, the Spanish, all out of the Western Hemisphere. And of course, by 1898, we had done that. We had created regional hegemony. What was our second goal? Our second goal, as I told you, was make sure we didn't have a peer competitor. We did not want any other country on the planet to dominate its region the way we dominate the Western Hemisphere. We had four potential peer competitors in the 20th century: Imperial Germany, Imperial Japan, Nazi Germany, and the Soviet Union. We helped contain and defeat all four of them. We helped put all four of them on the scrap heap of history. We entered World War I when it looked like the Germans were going to win in April of 1917 and helped finish them off. With regard to the Japanese, we beat them single-handedly in World War II, and we helped the Soviet Union, which played the key role in defeating Nazi Germany in World War II. And then, of course, the United States played the principal role in containing the Soviet Union during the Cold War, and then we gladly ushered them down the toilet bowl when they fell apart. The United States does not tolerate peer competitors. That's my basic story.